Welcome back to Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. I'm Jamie G, and I'm back once again, back again with Magnum to help you seize the gap and stop being so inefficient. We got a little something for everybody when it comes to week 3 Sunday and Monday night football games. We got some fantasy advice, got a couple Draftkings picks, and we got some of our very favorite bets. Mills, you know the deal at this point. Go Bills.
Yeah. Go Bills, go Birds. It's worked so far, so we're going to keep it going. And this is going to be a fun one. We're doing this a little bit early here, so it's going to be a little bit more DraftKings theory than picks, but we're going to do our best to make it happen. That's what you need to do when you are seizing the gap. Thank you for doing so with us. Seize the Gap Fantasy Football can be found wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We can be found on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the web at seizethegapff.com. Very simple and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please hit the thumb. And while we are not affiliated with DraftKings or the DraftKings Sportsbook, we are getting our odds and wagers there. Everything is accurate as of Thursday, September 18th, 2025.
The NFL is giving us a break this week, so we've only got 2 games on the slate, but both could be mighty interesting. And I don't know why now I've got mighty Boston stuck in my head. Anyway, get us back on track here, Mills. Start us off with the tail of the tape.
You say Mighty, I always think of Mighty Dog, the canned dog food back from the 90s. So both again very mighty, and we got that
Or
far
Mighty
around like three.
Taco. Let's do a
Or
shout out
Mighty
for Western New
Mouse.
York. Or
Yeah,
Mighty
Mighty
Mouse.
Mouse. All right. So yeah, very mighty. We got mighty stuff going on here. As far as the tail of the tape, starting on Sunday Night Football, we have the 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs, 6-point favorites, minus 325 on the money line, traveling to New Jersey to face the 0-2 New York Giants, 6-point home dogs, plus 260 on the money line. Game total is 45.5 points. On Monday night, we have the 1-1 Detroit Lions, 4.5-point road dogs, plus 185 on the money line, traveling to Baltimore to face the 1-1 Ravens, 4.5-point home favorites, minus 225 on the money line. Highest total on the board of the week, 53.5 points. Hung a big one there in Baltimore. A couple of minor injury issues to keep an eye on. Both on Sunday Night Football, you have Xavier Worthy, the receiver for the Chiefs. He is legitimately questionable. Could be a legit game time decision. Wouldn't surprise us to see him be held out until week 4. And then you have Andrew Thomas, the left tackle for the Giants. Does shape up like he might play this week. It'd be his first appearance of the season. But those are two pretty big injuries, so make sure you keep an eye on those. Jamie G, starting on Sunday Night Football, man, I think everybody kind of expects Kansas City to bounce back, right? I mean, they're the Chiefs. You read all these articles, 0-2 teams most likely to bounce back. Everyone thinks it's the Chiefs. If you cheat and look ahead, man, they have Baltimore next week. If they don't win this game, 0-4 is legitimately on the table. They're already 2 games back on the Chargers, with Chargers having the first part of that head-to-head tiebreaker in hand. I mean, you like to always say must win, but I mean, it feels like all of the pressure is squarely on Kansas City here, right? Despite the fact that the Giants are also 0-2.
Yeah, 100%. And there is pressure on the Giants in the form of Brian Daboll trying to keep his job. He knows he's got a young, hot rookie at quarterback just waiting in the wings, and he would like nothing more than to be able to ride the success of Jackson Dart if it comes with his very own longevity in New York for the Giants. However, the thing that the Giants have that is benefiting them is an absolute nothing to lose. Play like it's your last chance to start football, Russell Wilson. We saw it last week against Dallas. If he can do even remotely close to that, and again, he's got nothing to lose. He knows he's just a holding pattern at this point until Jackson Dart comes in. He's trying to put as much good tape on there as he can. The guy's always been a competitor. He's playing freely. Kansas City, on the other hand, they haven't been 0-2. Patrick Mahomes has never lost 3 games in a row. All those narratives have been shattered to start this season. And yes, I'm counting the Super Bowl as one of those 3 games because it is in a row. And they have so much pressure. They had a very brutal schedule this year, and rightfully so. I mean, they've been the kings of the AFC for a while now. So I think they have to have this one, but I don't know that they're going to get it. And if they do, I damn sure don't think it comes easy.
That's the $10,000 question, right? How do you actually like integrate this into your analysis here, into handicapping the game? Just don't see where the talent's coming from for Casey. That's the problem there, especially with even if Xavier Worthy plays with that shoulder in a harness, I think it's going to really hinder his effectiveness because he is such a speed weapon to begin with. If the Giants can just do it decent and give Russell Wilson credit, man. If you're just going to throw it up, Malik Neighbors is one of like the best three guys to have to do that to, basically. And to his credit, he is just going to feed him. It looks like they went a little bit more to Scadaboo last week. I think that could also work to their benefit there. Is there any way you can like, I mean, can you price desperation into your analysis of this one, or are you just kind of, I don't know, how do you actually incorporate it? That's what I'm struggling with. To actually put a number on it, more or less.
Yeah, I think I am too. And it'd be one thing if Kansas City, if we knew like, man, they've got a run game they can lean on. Well, their run game so far has been Patrick Mahomes scrambling. It'd be one thing if we knew, well, they've got a man beater, they've got a blitz beater, they've got all the things they need in the pass. We haven't seen it. And the Giants, for what it's worth, they got some. You squint your eyes enough, there's a lot of talent on that offense, and defensively, there is a pass rush, and it's formidable. So we'll see, man. But this is a tough spot for Kansas City for sure.
Yeah, Mahomes is going to have to continue to lean on his legs. And the one thing after they became the big play offense that they did better than anyone was convert on third down. And they're among the league's worst teams on third down right now. And you see Kelsey kind of just letting passes bounce off him. It's just tough to figure out like who is going to step up there, right? Who is going to keep moving the chains for them. I don't mind taking a couple deep shots to take one Thornton. But man, it just doesn't seem like they have a steady Eddie. I mean, you just lean on Juju or something, trying to just hit those little like 8, 10 yard inbreakers or something. I just don't know how they consistently move the football. So I think the key is really for the Giants. Russell Wilson just can't do what he did at the end of the game last week, right? I know that's a little simplistic. You're going to get the bad with the good here, but you kind of got to keep it to one turnover. I think if you give the Chiefs multiple turnovers, you're playing with fire here. I think Russ could probably get away with one, but past that, they're in trouble. Sound about right to you?
Yeah, I think so.
How about your guy Scadaboo, man? You think him playing a bigger role here will have an impact? I mean, I think Tyrone Tracy's always been better suited in the receiving game, former receiver, fumbling issues. And do you think the Giants' rushing game can be more effective than the Chiefs? Because right now, I think I'd rather have the Giants running backs. The offensive lines are probably close. The Chiefs is a little bit better, but I think that Giants running game might be able to get it going a little bit this week.
I think so, and I love the physicality Cam Scadaboo plays with. He's giving it 180% on every single snap. I think that it makes sense to start incorporating him if they can kind of win the possession game a little bit. The time of clock here, I think that also plays into a Giants' path towards victory. So I think it makes a lot of sense to try to be able to run the football a little bit, pound it, match the physicality. For what it's worth. Isaiah Pacheco has not seemed to gotten back to form since breaking his leg, and we know what Kareem Hunt is. If you need a yard, he's a guy that more likely than not is going to give it to you, but he's going to struggle to give you 10 to 15 yards snap in and snap out. So it's just one of those things, but it hasn't been effective for Kansas City running the football. The Giants, on the other hand, I think they can run the ball here, and I like Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how different the narratives are going to be for these two teams depending on who actually comes out with the victory. And let's have a little fun here before we move on to Monday Night Football. Who's your vulture man here? Who's like the random dude who gets a touchdown? I'm going with Darius Slayton, just catching one of those Russell Wilson moonballs. Just missed him last week. He's a guy we've seen with some big play potential over the years. Give me one random dude who's going to score a touchdown here. Dig down a little deeper.
Well, you let me know if this is deep enough. We talked about him a little bit. For better or worse, he is going to get opportunities, at least two to three. I'm going with Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, he's not going if you look at his anytime touchdown, I'm sure it's over 250 or something like that. So that's a legitimately long enough there, I feel. And the Lions have been a tough team to get a handle on, right? I mean, they get absolutely blown out of the universe in week one, and then they just destroy the Bears in week two. And you're looking at it, I know the answer is probably like the Packers are better than we thought. Maybe the Bears are worse than we thought. How do you evaluate the Lions going into this huge game in Baltimore after two such night and day appearances? I mean, it was literally the night man and the day man.
Yeah, it really was. And that's why it's so hard to figure out how much of that was just, week one, not being in alignment, facing a super good Green Bay team versus week two, like at home, we're going for blood based on, our former guy who left us to stay in division and all that kind of stuff. So it's really tough here to know which lines will show up. I know this thing, though. We know that the Ravens offense can score points. And we know that their defense is going to be really solid against the run. So it's just a matter of which Lions offense shows up and will this game be a shootout or not, really, to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the Ravens, say the same thing, but I wonder, do you think the Ravens are going to be like, who sets the tone here? Because both these teams kind of want to establish the run first, right? But they have the explosive passing game. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, if they do that early, if both teams can run the ball effectively, I think you'll have a tough time hitting that over. But if someone opens it up, gets a touchdown on the opening drive, someone answers back, you might be looking at another 70 plus point game or something like that. Who do you think kind of sets the tone here?
Well, I think the Ravens, for whatever reason, did not run the football against the Cleveland Browns at all. I think they get back to running the football, but I just know that even with that is gonna come, Lamar's gonna pass, man. He's gonna get his, and so I think that they're gonna be able to motorboat and score some points, and it's either gonna be, in my opinion, a Ravens runaway win or a shootout. But I think it's going to go back to Derrick Henry, and I think they're going to go back to setting a physicality with him, running the football. But that doesn't mean no points, and it doesn't mean tons of clock. He can bust off a 60-yarder and take it to the house. So, but I think they're going to go back to that.
I think they have to. And both of these teams kind of have some interesting kind of ancillary pieces. Obviously the Lions rushing game is a little bit tough to figure out with the mix there between Gibbs and Montgomery. You expect to be Gibbs involved kind of no matter what they do. I guess the question is, can they keep Jared Goff clean, right? Because I think if you could say if Jared Goff throws even give it one pick or less and is sacked two times or less, I think the Lions have a shot. But I think that's about it, right? Other than that, they have to keep him pretty clean. They did an excellent job of that in week two, but their line was absolutely horrific in week one. So that's probably my biggest point of concern, right? Because we've seen what happens when the blitz starts getting there to Jared Goff, or even just the straight up pass rush without even having to send extra men.
Yeah, and you got to win possessions. And what I mean by that is if you punt, you got to force two punts to because I'm telling you, the Ravens offense is going to score points. They just are. I don't know that there's a defense in the league that's going to limit them. You got to be able to slow them down enough, make a couple of big plays when it matters, and score a lot of points to beat them. They're just going to score points. They're that skilled on offense.
Yeah, and the Ravens can track meet it too. They can do it without
They
even having
can.
to pretend to run the ball. I think part of that is the threat Jackson brings with his legs. Whereas Detroit, we saw that in week one. If they have to abandon the run, it's a problem for Goff.
Yeah.
He's always done his best number just with his absolute pinpoint accuracy off of play action, being able to get the backs involved, the tight end involved. And if they start muddling things up for him, I think they're in trouble. So I'm definitely leaning Ravens, but I really think, we talked about very interesting. I think this could legitimately be a mighty, mighty interesting game. You can go first this time. Random TD score here. Who's the vulture man? Who's stealing one?
I'm going to say 2 weeks in a row here. We don't get it to Sam Laporta. We get it to the backup tight end.
Okay, you're going to Brock Wright, the Brockness
We're going to
monster here?
Brock. I'm taking the Brock bus here, dude. I'm taking the Brock bus.
He's on the Brock bus. All right. I was gonna go. You know what? I'll go real deep, dude. Brashard Smith, rookie running back for the Chiefs, seventh round pick, former converted wide receiver. He has juice. He has legitimate actual speed. He got his first carry last week. Only played about 15% of the snaps, but it's creeping up there. They need somebody, man, who can catch the ball and do something with it after the catch. He's got enough juice here. I think he maybe takes a nice little swing pass, 15, 20 yards to the house, something like that. So he's been pretty effective kick returner so far. Was good in the preseason. Looks like his game is going to translate. So Rashard Smith, dude, digging deep.
Digging real deep. Let's kick off our fantasy discussion with the usual suspects. Mills, who should be locked into the fantasy lineups, John Thundergun style?
No hesitation, no surrender, no man left behind. For Kansas City, you want Patrick Mahomes and still probably Travis Kelce in there. I don't think you probably have a better option at tight end. So unfortunately, it probably is what it is. He's still going to get decent volume. You just hope that he can, catch the ball in the end zone. Actually, it's rooting against the Chiefs. I don't want him to, but if you have him in fantasy, you want him to make the catch. For the Giants, I think Malik Neighbors is the only guaranteed lock him in usual suspect, but you can make the argument for a bunch of other players there. For Detroit, you got a bunch of them, man. Jameer Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, lock him in. Jamison Williams is right on the borderline there. And then for Baltimore, you got the big three. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers should be in your lineup in all formats. Not too much you can do with streaming here because these are the late games. I will say, like, any of the four kickers in these games are probably okay with me. I would probably prefer John Loop or Tyler Loop or John Bates, the kickers in the Monday Night Football game. But if you need a kicker, any of these are fine. Probably not looking to play any of the defenses. If I were going to play one, it would probably be Kansas City or Baltimore's got upside. We've seen Goff take some sacks, and Russell Wilson can Russell Wilson at times. We have seen that before. At JBG, let's just have a couple fun start state questions here. You might have a couple of guys left at the end of the week. It's tough because we are going a bit deep here into the week doing this early, but this is fun sometimes. And these are decisions we have in some of our lineups and some others we've seen across our leagues. JBG, would you rather start in a 1.0 PPR league, Cam Scadaboo or Travion Henderson? Patriots are home versus the Steelers.
The answer should be so clearly Henderson that we don't even have to talk about it. But sadly, I've got to go Cam Scadaboo. Why? Because the arrow is trending for him getting more looks, more possessions, more opportunities. Whereas with Henderson, I don't understand it. Why? He's clearly the most talented back on that roster. He's got the juice. He's got the breakaway speed. They drafted him high. He was prolific at Ohio State. Not using him.
It's you gotta earn it, right? Yeah, I'm going with Scadaboo, man. It's just a running back is so volume based at times. He's on the upswing. He might get a couple of end zone looks in the short yardage there. He can catch the rock. So yeah, it kills me. Should be Henderson, but going with Scadaboo. Here's an ugly one here: Isaiah Pacheco or Nick Chubb. Chubb is at Jacksonville. I guess I'm going Nick Chubb, although theoretically, I'm pretty sure the Bucks let him score that 25-yard touchdown, which means he really only had like 18 actual yards rushing. But the Jacksonville defense has been kind of soft, and Houston doesn't have any other choice. Who knows what Kansas City's going to do? But you're right, Pacheco hasn't looked great. I'm going with Nick Chubb, but I would say look on the wire, find a third option if possible. Who are you going with?
I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to also go Chubb. Again, it should so clearly be Pacheco, right? But for whatever reason, it's not. And right now, I got to go Chubb.
Well, I'll let you go first on this one. This one's tough. David Montgomery again at Baltimore. Oh, Marion Hampton, Chargers rookie running back, had that big fumble at the end of the last game. Now he's got a tough matchup versus Denver. Who are you taking? Demon, or are you still rolling with the Rook?
I haven't been impressed with the rookie running back so far this season. Not just Omarion Hampton. He had the big mistake in the first game where he ran out of bounds and killed the clock. Second game, he has a huge fumble. He still hasn't, really shown what we all thought we would see out of him. That's not a reason not necessarily to take him, but I'm going to go with the consistency of David Montgomery here. Again, I'm going to take floor versus ceiling on this one. I just think he's going to get so far the Chargers offense has been a passing offense. We'll see if that changes against Denver. I don't love the matchup there against Denver. I don't necessarily love the matchup against Baltimore either. They're a really stout run defense, but I think I'm gonna go Montgomery. It's a tough one though.
I'm going to go Montgomery as well. Legitimately worried that Harbaugh is going to prove a point here. It's time for the rookie to learn a lesson. They have Najee Harris there, who's been more involved in the passing game. And then it just looks like there's going to be a lot more opportunity for points to be scored in that Monday Night Football game. So give me the higher scoring environment. And two waiver wire darlings, we have Wan'Dale Robinson at home versus the Chiefs, or Quentin Johnston of the Chargers versus the Broncos. I'm going to go with Robinson just because that's a tough matchup against Denver, man. But Johnson has looked like he's kind of really rehabilitated his reputation after being widely regarded as a first round bust through the first two seasons of his career. Are you rolling with Johnson still, or are you going to stay with W. Rob here?
If I wish I knew how Denver was going to play the Chargers. If I knew Patrick Surtain was not going to be on Johnson, I think I'd probably take Johnston. He's gotten in the end zone now 3 times in 2 games. He clearly has a relationship with Herbert. Herbert trusts him. Herbert is giving him targets. But that said, I think I'm going to go in for the shootout game here. That said, I think I'm also going to go Robinson, just given the matchup here, and given what we've seen out of the Giants, and there's going to be opportunities. Russell Wilson's going to throw it up there.
Ooh, a battle of the slightly dusty wide receivers. Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown at the Giants, or Cooper Kupp versus the Saints. I guess I'm going Cup here, but it's purely just matchup based because I think the Seahawks could get her done against the Saints a little bit easier there. While I'm a bit more skeptical about the Sunday Night Football matchup. You going Hollywood, or you got Cooper Kupp?
Again, on the surface, it should absolutely be Hollywood, but I'm going Cooper Cup for the same reasons as you.
Yeah, and plus you can make the hanging with Mr. Cooper gag, so that is always nice. Then we got Rashad Bateman here again, secondary receiver for the Ravens. Could be a high scoring game. Or Matthew Golden, the Packers rookie, looking to make an impact for the first time. You have no Jaden Reed out there. Who are you going with, man? Are you going with Bateman and continuing the little mini breakout here, or is Matthew Golden going to have his first big game?
I'm actually going to go Matthew Golden. And here's why. I think that there's a willingness and a want to get him involved. The problem with Green Bay is they've got like 12 receivers that are all exactly the same, and you never know who's going to do it. But I'm going to actually bet on the rook here, Matthew Golden. I think there's going to be a handful of plays that are specifically designed for him. Bateman, again, he's going to be in a potential shootout here. I like Rashad Bateman. I don't know. I'm going Matthew Golden here against Cleveland. I just think there's going to be opportunities for him. I'm going to go there. I think I don't know. It's a tough one, but I'm going Golden.
Always go gold whenever you're down. It's like answering C on a test. He was just missed by Jordan Love on two deep shots last week. If he caught one of those, I don't even know if we'd be having this debate. So I think they look to get him more involved this week. If you're dumpster diving at tight end, would you roll Theo Johnson for the Giants, Colston Loveland for the Bears against the Cowboys? Cole Kmet's running far enough ahead of Loveland right now. I don't trust that offense. Give me Theo Johnson. I'm not expecting a ton, but if those are your choices, I think this one's pretty easy for me. How about you?
Yeah, I go in Theo Johnson too. I mean, it's a shame they haven't figured out how to use Loveland, or he's not emerging yet. You see what Tyler Warren's doing, and you start to scratch your head because they could have taken Tyler Warren. I'm going Theo Johnson though. I mean, if the pressure comes quick, he's kind of the dump off and the check down a lot of options for Russell. So I'm gonna go with Theo Johnson.
And finally, gut check time for Mark Andrews owners. You starting Mark Andrews or Jatavian Sanders, sophomore tight end for the Panthers at home against the Falcons. Boy, I'll let you go first because this is a legit coin flip. I know Andrews should be more involved in a high scoring game, but nothing the Ravens have done have indicated that they want to make him a bigger piece of this offense.
They haven't. And, you could look back and say, hey, there's been some success with the tight end, at least in week one with Tucker Kraft, but Tucker Kraft's been having success against every defense he plays. So I don't know that I can even say that. It should be Mark Andrews, but I think I might take a chance and roll the dice on Jatavian Sanders here.
Yeah, give me the Colonel, dude. Colonel Sanders. At least he's involved, and I think Xavier Legette is absolutely toast. That makes their second option Hunter Renfro. Yes, I think they're going to at least go with the young athletic guy they drafted last year over Hunter Renfro, hopefully. But that's what we're down to in Carolina. Good luck, Panthers fans.
Whew. Well, we are down with the king, and you should be too. We're going to help you out in the primetime showdown contest over on Draftkings, starting with a couple options for your captain. Oh, captain, my captain, the captain spot.
We're gonna have to keep it a little loosey goosey because we do not have the official pricing yet. So we're just gonna have a little brief discussion here. I think if you're doing Sunday Night Football, you're playing a cash game, double up, head to head, 50-50, whatever. Go ahead, put Malik Neighbors in there, a captain. I don't think there's anybody who really comes close to him in terms of floor and ceiling in this game. He's going to be expensive. Don't overthink it. Put him in your captain spot. And that makes it tough. If you're in a large field tournament, you want to go a different way. It's going to be really popular. I think in this game, you probably have to go with one of the quarterbacks. JVG, if you had to pick, assuming they're similarly priced with similar ownership, would you rather play Mahomes at captain or Russell Wilson at captain?
It's tough because Russell Wilson, you got the moon ball, you got all that, but I think I'm going to take the rushing upside of Patrick Mahomes, particularly the rushing touchdown upside. I'm going to go ahead and take Mahomes. I think all the points on Kansas City come from him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He just seems more likely to be involved. We like Scadaboo a little bit, so perhaps the Giants get it going a little bit better with the running game than the Chiefs do. On Monday night, same kind of thing. If you're in a cash game, head to head, single entry, small field tournament, or whatever, just play Lamar Jackson. He has the best floor ceiling combo you can ask for. There are a lot of good options in this game. But again, if you're just trying to double your money, you're in a pretty conservative contest. Don't overthink it. But if you're in a large field contest, JVG, there are options here. You have Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameer Gibbs, Zay Flowers, and Jared Goff. If you had to go for a tournament captain, I think you're in luck because the ownership is going to get split up between these guys. So it really just comes down to a matter of pricing and how you want to build your lineup. Who's your favorite of the bunch, man? Would you rather Faye Jackson go with King Henry or maybe go with one of the Lions guys?
Whew, man, I probably go. This is so tough. I just don't see how I can fade Jackson. I'm probably gonna go with one of the Lions guys here.
Yeah, it was
Um,
kind of a St. Brown or Gibbs for me a little bit because they have
yeah,
that massive, like 200 total yard, multiple touchdown kind of upside.
yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So again, my guess is they're within 500 in pricing of each other, and the ownership will be fairly similar. So then it just kind of comes down to if you want to play them with golf and how you want to build out your lineup, or kind of who you're going to run them opposite of. So again, don't have the official pricing yet. And if you want a deep shot, Zay Flowers, who's had a pretty nice start to the season, will probably have
Yeah.
minimal ownership at captain.
Love that too, man. Who are we looking at in terms of value plays, and where are we going to spend some money outside of the captain position?
On Sunday Night Football, all guys we've discussed who should be at varying price points between probably about 1,000 and 6,000 in your flex. You have Tyquan Thornton, the receiver for the
Yep.
Chiefs, Cam Scadaboo, the running back for the Giants, Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the Giants, and Theo Johnson, tight end for the Giants. Makes Russell Wilson a little bit nicer of a play because you do have these kind of inexpensive stacking options you could pair him up with. In the Monday night game, you have Justice Hill. This turns into a shootout. The running back for the Ravens could be very involved in the passing game. You have rookie Isaac Tasala for the Detroit Lions. They've been trying to get him more involved. He's shown a nose for the end zone in some big plays. And I think you could probably go with one of the Baltimore value wide receivers. Bateman would be the most expensive, but you also have DeAndre Hopkins and Tez Walker, who's found the end zone a couple of times already. If you're dumpster diving for a Ravens wide receiver, Jamie G, would you rather pay a little extra for Bateman or go with D Hop or Tez maybe?
D Hop is, I think that's what he is. He might get 2 to 3 looks, but they're going to be red zone. I think I'd probably go D Hop,
Yeah, depending on the price, I think I
depending on
probably
the
go with you
price.
there. Yeah, Walker, it's just been red zone targets. They've been a little fluky. I like him as a long-term dynasty buy, but you probably don't have to go there in this point right now in this showdown. On Sunday night, if you're spending up, I think you want to make sure you have Neighbors and Mahomes both in your lineup. I think it's pretty much that simple. One should be a captain, the other one should be in your flex. Don't overthink it. On Monday Night Football, I mentioned him going out. Zay Flowers, I think, is going to be a nice middle of the road play where you have to pay up a bit, but he's not going to be expensive as the rest of the guys here, and he pairs up very, very nicely with Lamar Jackson. The big question is, Jamie G, can you really play Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same lineup? It's incredibly expensive, and they're not necessarily positively correlated the best together.
They're not. And what makes it so difficult is there's too many players on the opposite team that you want to play. So I don't think you can. I think you probably got to pick and choose.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. And maybe the same thing for the Lions, although I will say if you were only going to play two Lions and you could afford it, you could play Gibbs and St. Brown and fade the rest of
Yeah.
them. But it's a week two. I'm probably not playing, Gibbs and Montgomery in the same lineup too. So kind of be careful with the way you stack them up. And we'll get you started just with a couple of little baby stacks here. Not sure exactly how these will work in given the uncertainty with the pricing as we do this. But on Sunday Night Football, if you put Malik Neighbors the captain, consider running it back with Patrick Mahomes, Tyquan Thornton, and Cam Scadaboo in your flex. Should have a decent amount of money left. You might have to dumpster dive a little bit for one player, but you still should have some flexibility. And then on Monday Night Football, it could get expensive quick, but you still probably want Jackson in there, a captain. Run it back on the other side with Jared Goff playing for the shootout. Put one of either Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jahmyr Gibbs in there, and then maybe one of those cheap Baltimore wide receivers. We talked about DeAndre Hopkins. Save a little bit of dough. Again, you're not going to have a ton of money for your final two spots, but you shouldn't have to dig all the way to the bottom of the dumpster. Although every once in a while, there's some good stuff down there.
Break out your wallets because it's time for a little bet it, bank it, below it. We're ready to place our bets, but first, we need to see how we're doing here. Let's check the status of our status.
Yeah, just the treble on my ting ting. And a reminder here, we're getting our odds and wagers from the Draftkings Sportsbook. Everything is accurate as of September 18th, 2025. On Bet It, Bank It, Blow It, our preferred currency is the Cricket coin. So all of our wagers are in the form of Cricket coins. In Cricket, we trust. We're going to start out with the golden grab bag here. Kind of just our favorite wagers that aren't our absolute favorite or didn't fit in there as parlay legs or what have you. Last week, Jamie G on Sunday, Monday Night Football, you wound up down about 56 cricket coins. You went 2 for 4. You hit the Baker Mayfield passing yards and the Chargers money line. Missed on the Bijan Robinson receiving yards just by a pinch, and the Omarion Hampton rushing yards by more than a pinch. What do you have for us this week, man? Fill up the golden grab bag.
Yeah, let's try to hit on a couple more here. 2 for 4 is okay, but I would rather be 3 for 4 or better yet, 4 for 4. Let's start off here. I'm going to put 100 cricket coins on Patrick Mahomes, 40 plus rushing yards. I think this is the only rushing offense this team has right now. He is going to find himself in a position where he's got to take off and scramble. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row. I don't see anything changing this week, especially with that pass rush. I think it's going to be a hit here. So 40 plus rush yards, it's plus 158. 100 cricket coins there to win back 258 coins. I'm also going to buy the hype a little bit here, Mills. I'm going to put 100 coins on Wandale Robinson, 40 plus receiving yards. I don't know that he's going to live up to what happened last week, but I think there's a spot here for him to cause some damage against this Chiefs secondary. 100 coins on Wan'Dale Robinson, 40 plus receiving yards. It's minus 146. 100 cricket coins to win 168. And then I'm going to do it. I'm going to bet on a shootout theory narrative here. I'm going to put 100 coins on Lamar, Mr. Jackson, 3 plus passing touchdowns. It's plus 188. Did it last week. I think he does it again. Plus 188, 100 coins there to win back 288.
He says, Mr. Jackson, if you're nasty, and if he's nasty, he can be being a tease. And if there's one thing Jamie G knows about it, it's a tease. I mean, you know my tease. Last week you had one teaser for us. You had a three-legger. Unfortunately, you lost your 100 cricket coins. You hit on Atlanta plus 9.5, Tampa Bay plus 8.5, but you missed on the Chargers at Raiders over 40.5. That was the first tease of the year. So you're down 100 coins overall. Only got the two-game slate, man. It sounds like you're teasing it up. What are you working with here?
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson. I'm only going to need two things to happen this week, and I really like this one, Mills. I am personally playing this, and I'm not. It's not a college fund or anything like that, but I'm making a regular unit size bet on this. I'm putting two leg 6 point teaser out there for you guys. It's minus 135 on DraftKings. You may be able to find it on other books at minus 120. If you can, great. Let us know where you found it. But DraftKings did alter and up this to minus 135 now on two leg 6 point teasers. So leg one, I'm taking the Giants tease down to plus 12 at Kansas City. Again, I think the Giants, if they come in there and play well, they've got a legitimate chance to win this game. Love getting the 12 points here. I don't know that Kansas City is going to be able to cover that. I do also going to tease Detroit up to 10.5. Again, I think Detroit's got a legitimate chance here. And I think this could be a little bit of a shootout. Could be whoever's got the ball last. If that's the case, we're in the money because we're getting it at plus 10.5 here. 100 coins there to win back 174. Let's do the thing.
And good for you, man. You like teasing it. Me personally, I lean a little bit more towards just straight up degeneracy, but it is a process to get there. We do have 3 degrees of degeneracy. Just going to have a little bit of fun here. Last week, I lost all 175 of my cricket coins being a degenerate. Thanks for nothing, Omarion Hampton there. That fumble was backbreaking in more than one way. On the season, I am down about 257 cricket coins, but I am going to win them back this week, I am sure, because I am a degenerate. First up, we have the flounder here. This is for those of you that are slightly new to degeneracy, like if you're pledging a fraternity in Animal House. I'm going to put 100 cricket coins on something Jamie G likes, so I'm riding with you. Patrick Mahomes, 40 plus rushing yards. That is plus 158. So 100 coins to bring back 258 coins. His legs have been the most consistent part of that offense. Gonna use them, gonna need them. They have to win somehow or they're in deep trouble. And another guy that's in deep trouble is our guy, Barney Gumble. He is so far in debt to Mo. They had to send away to NASA to calculate his tab, but he still got 50 coins this week. He's trying to turn him into something, so hopefully he can at least drink some of that high-end Duff beer, some of the Duff Micro Brew. He got 50 coins on Jahmyr Gibbs to have 40 plus receiving yards. That is plus 271. 50 coins to bring back about 185 coins. If this one turns into a shootout, Gibbs could do that with 3 or 4 receptions. No diggity, no doubt. And then finally, we have the cricket in honor of Rickety Cricket. If you're living under a bridge with the dogs, all you have is 25 coins and you desperately need to escape life under the bridge. You put them on Malik Neighbors to score 2 or more touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, 2 plus anytime touchdown scorer. That is plus 1,100. So 25 coins will return 300 coins if he finds Mr. Endzone not once, but at least twice. If he does that, Giants fans will be exciting. They will be excited. They will be celebrating. You might even say they'd be ready to partay. And we are ready to partay here on the parlay partay. We got legs. We know how to use them. Last week, we collaborated on a 4-leg parlay. Did not work. We got there on the Chargers money line. Missed the other 3, although 2 of them were Bijan receiving props. So just almost got there. But you got to hit all the legs. That's how it works. On the season, Jamie G, you're down 300 coins in the partay. Collaboratively, we're down 100 coins. What do you have to offer us this week?
Yeah, look, man, and we're going to be down, but all that we need is to win one or two of these things, and we'll be up on the year. I promise you that. So, I got a nice three-legger. Now this is a same game parlay X. And what that means, if you're new, there's a little function in DraftKings. You enable it and allows you to parlay across multiple games, right? Forming one single game parlay or same game parlay across multiple games. That's what we're doing here for Sunday and Monday Night Football. I got a three-legger for dat ass. Pretty excited about it. Leg one, Malik Neighbors, anytime touchdown scorer. I'm not exactly going full degeneracy with the two-time, but I do think he finds the end zone once. That's plus 145 on its own. Leg two, I also think Derrick Henry gets in back in the end zone. He's back in, he's in Baltimore. He didn't get in there last week. He's getting in there this week. I can guarantee it. The book agrees with me because a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown score is minus 230. He's getting it. And then last but not least, I got Lamar Jackson on 230 plus passing yards. Again, I think this game has the potential to be a shootout. I see him getting that 230 with ease. It's plus 110. Combine all those together, we got plus 620 odds, 100 cricket coins, two win back 720. Mills, we win this, we're up over 400 on the season, and it's only week three.
Yeah, and you can, buy a couple more cases for the party, dude. We'd appreciate it.
And you guys know we close out every episode with a visit to the Golden Goose. It's the only place we know that has the golden eggs, which, because we love you, we pass on to you.
Last week on the Monday night slate, I went 1 for 3, so down about 278 coins. Got there on the Baker Mayfield passing touchdowns. Again, missed on the Bijan Robinson receiving prop and the Omari Hampton carries prop. So thank you for those. Jamie G, you had a good one, man. You went 3 for 3, up about 532 coins. You had Atlanta on an alternate spread. You had Tampa Bay on an alternate spread in the first half, and then Justin Herbert 2+ passing touchdowns. So you are doing nicely here. You are up about 675 coins on the season. I am down about 506. So you have the honors, man. Give us your golden goose here, your golden egg for Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I'm riding it, man. I'm gonna ride that train and ride it. I'm putting 250 coins on Malik Neighbors, 80 plus receiving yards. I just think that this offense, if it wants to have a chance, it needs to attack down the field. The secondary of the Chiefs is where you can get them a little bit. As long as you can take care of Chris Jones, I think you can pass the football here. And Malik Neighbors is going to get his looks, man. He just is. Otherwise, he won't be handshaking the coach. He'll be having to do Zen yoga on the sideline just to control his anger. Just give the man the ball, okay? And, the 80 plus receiving yards, honestly, this can come on one or two targets. Really like this for him. It's plus 104. I'm putting all 250 on that. That's 250 coins to win back 510.
On Sunday Night Football, I think the Chiefs are going to at least show up and have their back to the wall, and it's going to show up on defense enough. I don't know how they can score that much, so that's kind of just led me to go to the under here. I'm just going to take the under 45.5, minus 112, so 250 coins to bring back about 473. Really wouldn't surprise me if this is a bit of an ugly game. You maybe get a couple of big splash plays here or there, but for the most part, I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring affair, so I like that number. And then on Monday Night Football, I'm just going to do a little bit of a pared down version of one of my degenerate legs here. I'm going to put 250 coins on Jahmyr Gibbs to have 25 plus receiving yards, almost even Steven, plus 106. So 250 coins to bring back 515. I expect Detroit to at least either be keeping up in a shootout or playing from behind. Either way, that should be very conducive to Gibbs getting multiple receptions. 25 yards for a guy with that kind of big playability should not be too big of an ask. Jamie G, close us out here, man. Monday Night Football, Golden Goose.
Yeah, love that one, Mills. I'm going to do a little bit of an alternate total here. I'm going to put all 250 coins on Detroit at Baltimore over 51 and a half. Bought it down just a little bit. It's minus 134. Those 250 coins will win me back 236. I think it gets there. I think it's got the chance to push for 60, maybe 70 points in this one. 51 and a half, I'm feeling pretty good about.
Yeah, that's probably a game if you want to have a little fun with a parlay and you start taking some of these, some of the player props in there, throw up, an over 60 or something in there because if, 3 or 4 of those player prop hits, we're probably getting a big, big total in that game.
Absolutely. And we're big loving you guys. Thank you for checking us out and being with us for another episode here. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and like and subscribe. Throw the thumb, man. That way this will show up in your feed and you won't miss these each and every week because we will be putting one out for you each and every week, not just for the primetime games on Sunday and Monday. We're also doing the main slate on Sunday and the Thursday night games and whatever other day the NFL decides to have a game on for, the sake of revenue. We appreciate you guys. Good luck on primetime football. Let us know who you're taking. Let us know if you're tailing one of ours. Then you drop a comment below, or Mills will let you know where you can find all of our social media.
Thanks again for checking out Seize the Gap Fantasy Football. Find our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Seize the Gap FF and on the web at seizethegapff.com. Very easy to remember, just like those flaps, FLAPS. Very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please touch the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. Thanks again for checking out the show. And remember, you need to seize the gap and stop being so inefficient.
We don't care if you're old. You need to seize the gap.